All right, joining us today is a Canadian pro wrestler by the name of Ethan Page. Ethan, man, thank you so much for joining us. How's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Doing great. Now, we're coming up on a big weekend for Evolve. Can you tell the fans what's happening that weekend and all the lineup of the shows happening from March 30th to April 1st?
Oh, geez.
We got Evolve 80, right?
Does this podcast have a time limit?
No.
There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, especially under the WWN banner. If you want to see absolutely everything, you can go to morethanmania.com. But me personally, we're wrestling on Evolve 80, Evolve 81, and the WWN Super Show, which is Evolve versus Progress, as well as the Joey Janela Spring Break.
Wow. So a big weekend for you guys. It's WrestleMania weekend where pretty much, fans from all over the world are coming out, not just for WWE, but other companies like Evolve and whatnot. Do you have experience working like that WrestleMania week or weekend, and maybe what it's like as a superstar, just to see, more fans than you would ever see in one area, I guess?
Yeah, you know what? It's awesome. This is my third one, and I don't know, the special feeling doesn't really go away. It's the weekend everybody looks forward to every year. And for me, this one's no different.
We talk a lot about other wrestling companies, but Evolve seems to be one of those diamonds in the rough, if you will. Can you tell us about maybe the growth of Evolve as a company and just basically your time there and how you see it from the inside out?
Yeah, when I first started, it was actually at a WrestleMania weekend in San Diego, I believe. It was San something. And I believe California area. And that was huge. They had 500, 600, 700, 800 people over the span of 3 shows. And the following Evolve shows had about 80 people. So every time it's around super fans, it was something special. And then when it went to these other small cities, I don't want to say small because Florida's a hotbed for wrestling now, but we went from there, then went to Florida, and there was 70 people, and it was like, we just had 800, and now all of a sudden it's down to 10% of that. Mm-hmm. So we had to build the company up, and that's everyone that was on the roster didn't say, "Oh, there's less people, it's time to have a night off." They said, "Our product is the exact same, whether there's 800 or 80 people. We're going to go out there and have the best show." And I think that the pride in the wrestler. Everybody wanting to work hard for Gabe and Sal and Evolve, that grew Evolve on its own. Then you had WWE kind of stick their hand out and give Evolve a little bit of a boost, sending in guys like Sami Zayn, American Alpha. You had William Regal coming down for appearances as well as seminars. And that in itself gave Evolve a rub and helped us grow exponentially, and now we're hitting those crowds. We were WrestleMania weekend, but once a month, which is great. So when we come to WrestleMania weekend now, I think it's going to be even bigger than it was before.
Now, speaking of that relationship with WWE, how do the guys on the inside and even yourself look at that as, kind of like a little bit of a partnership with them? How does that make you guys feel in the end?
It was great because we as a team, we had a competitive edge against each other, but now it was a personal competition where we knew WWE was watching, so anybody on the roster could have an opportunity to move on to bigger and better things. So it was kind of, I don't know, it was like a kick in the ass where now it's time to step it up even more.
Mm. Your growth to being a top guy for that promotion, maybe from the first day you started to where you are now, just your evolution, if you will, there. How does that make you feel? Just going, from where you started to where you are now, and maybe the future, what you see in the next few years of yourself with maybe Evolve.
The whole experience starting off, I think I was directed or guided in a way that from day one, eventually I would be where I am today. How well it went was, I guess, up to me for my performances. But on my first weekend, WrestleMania weekend, I was a good guy and by the end of the weekend, I turned on the guy that brought me into the company, Johnny Gargano, who was the figurehead of the company, number one guy, face. They called him the WWN icon. So from the get-go, I was given the ball, and what I did with it from that point was totally in my hands, and it's been a wild roller coaster where in a company known for its professional wrestling, its technical wrestling, pure wrestling, you have this guy who most people think doesn't belong but found his niche and a way to, I guess, make it work. And since day one, I've been trying to prove that, which is a pride thing for me, but also elevating the company and giving it a different dynamic than other guys have the ability to. And I think that Ethan Page really helped Evolve grow. And Evolve really helped me grow as well.
Sure. Now you brought up Johnny Gargano. What are your thoughts about working with him and where he is now today?
It was amazing, and mostly because we've wrestled each other before we went into Evolve, so we kind of had really good chemistry, and I think that was kind of it helped give that deciding factor of trust, knowing that we had literally 2 years of wrestling to really build on until his final days in Evolve, where I took him out for the second time. And him being a part of NXT, but also wrestling for Evolve while in a feud with me really helped elevate my stock as a performer, being the guy that was trusted to work with the guy who obviously had bigger and better things on the horizon. So it was really good experience. He's one of the best in the world.
Definitely. Now, Evolve isn't your full-time home, but you also work in a promotion, Alpha One Wrestling. What can you tell the fans about that?
It's the best wrestling in Canada, and it sucks because I wish more people knew about it, and I do everything in my power to help people know about it, and it's been working. The more popularity I get, the more popularity Alpha One gets, and it's a goal of mine to really watch it grow and make it into something that is self-sustainable so that when I do go off and do better things and I'm not living in Canada anymore, I wanted to kind of be able to, work for itself and give an opportunity for Canadian talent to have that exposure to the American market while people are watching DVDs or VOD or whatever it is. And the crowd in itself is just something you have to experience live. It's very special.
Sure, and being able to work with a promotion like that, do you ever recollect any advice given to you, maybe from any veteran of the business, just about either pro wrestling, being a wrestler, or just staying loyal to that company, just helping them get to where they need to be?
Yeah, you know what? They had Tommy Dreamer come in a couple times, and I had a chat with him, and he kind of. As everybody notices, I love being the bad guy, and I love playing that character. It's a natural fit for me. I don't know, maybe I'm a terrible person in real life. But in Alpha One, it's my hometown of Hamilton, Ontario. I have a big hand in helping the company progress and a lot of behind-the-scenes things. So with the more public that became, the harder it was for me to be a bad guy. So Dreamer saw that and kind of told me like, hey, I am to ECW what you are to Alpha One, or vice versa. Sorry, he said, I am to Alpha One what he was to ECW, in a sense that people knew how much hard work and heart he put into the company to make it better and help it grow. So fans seeing that I'm doing the same thing, it's very hard for them to dislike me. So I should embrace, I guess, the support and the fact that I do put a lot of work in for them and be a good guy. So I did, and I haven't looked back since. So it's been great advice that's helped the company as well have a character that is there every single month that people really love.
Sure. And this question is more basically for you and basically all the other wrestlers you work with. I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are. Basically with the WWE, the past year or two, it just seems like it's been flipped upside down to where at one point you had to look this way to get in. You had to look a certain way to start out to get with them. And now, I mean, it's not really about looks anymore. I mean, it's kind of like anybody's up for grabs out there to this day, to where it almost seemed like it was almost impossible unless you went through their farm system to get in, and then through years of doing that, then you work your way up, and yada yada yada. But guys, just for one name out there, James Ellsworth, a guy you never thought they would picked him for anything. He got picked, they use him. But for you guys out there, wrestlers out there, seeing that the WWE is kind of definitely changed from what they used to be, to where now, hey man, anybody's up for grabs. Does that kind of give you not hope, but just a better outlook to say, hey, I could still, anybody could kind of make it to WWE if they wanted to. It's just all about being that character, having that charisma, and anybody's fair game, I guess. I don't know. Is there any kind of thoughts about that with maybe you or any other wrestlers ever talk about? Maybe at one point, like I said, it could have been really difficult, but now it just seems like, hey, the door's wide open.
Yeah, but I think that there was instances like that before, like Colin Delaney, a guy who's under WWE contract, and I guess he had at the time the same James Ellsworthy characteristics about him, but I see what you're saying, where it's more open now, body types, characters, size, height, whatever. There's no real bias to the muscle men anymore, which is true in a sense. But I think that no matter what, and no matter what the fad is, and I don't want to say fad in a negative way, but right now it's on a path of independent guys are very popular, which is, I mean, great for me. But at the end of the day, there's always gonna be the Roman Reigns, handsome, tall, jacked, should be a movie star, professional wrestler, who will always outshine the independent guys unless they look the same way. And I don't know, maybe I'm an ass for saying that, but I personally am drawn to those people more as well, because they do look like superheroes. They look larger than life. They look like somebody you wouldn't bump into on the street. So in my professional wrestling, that's who I would cater to as well.
Definitely. Now, we kind of have something in common. You went to school for TV broadcasting. I went to school in Philadelphia for video production. Is this kind of what you do on the side from wrestling, or are you still into TV, just all that kind of stuff behind the scenes?
Yeah, and like for me, I use it a lot in my career where, like, we'll go back to Alpha One. I produce the DVDs, I produce the DVD art, I produce the graphics, the website, all that stuff, and it's all from my degree, as well as I have my own YouTube channel, my own YouTube show. Wrestlers hire me on to do their 8x10s, their t-shirt designs, their music videos, hype videos. It's a good way to get some extra coin, posters, all that kind of stuff. So it's come in handy, especially earlier on in my career where I wasn't making much money as a professional wrestler. So, yeah.
Definitely. Now, maybe for anybody sitting at home who's going WrestleMania weekend and say, hey, I have a few extra bucks to spend, can you kind of maybe not cut a promo, but maybe tell them why they should, if they never seen Evolve, why they should be there that weekend?
Oh, it's the best wrestlers in the world. And I don't mean that because I work for them. I mean that because the entire company was just raided by WWE. They took 60% of the roster and they brought them to 205 Live, to NXT, to Monday Night Raw. It's kind of like the funnel for the best, where they'll be spinning in the funnel and eventually will drop through into WWE, and it's kind of just a waiting game. And maybe it's Gabe's eye for talent. Maybe it's just the magnetism of the company Evolve or the WWN banner. But all of the shows, top to bottom, have the best in the world. And if a ticket is, honestly, I don't even know how much it is, $20, $30, $40. If you're skeptical, get a general admission, stand at the back, and watch the other 1,000 people in the room absolutely blow the roof off the place while whoever's in the ring is blowing their minds.
For everybody listening out there, you mentioned getting the word out about Alpha One, but also where can the fans hearing you now find you on social media or anything else that you're involved with?
Me personally, you can go to Twitter for Official Ego. That's my handle. And obviously, I'll link everything that I do. I'm very active on social media as well. So if you tweet at me, I'll respond. And 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 if you tweet at me 99% of the chance I'll get back to you.
That's great. Well, Ethan, we thank you so much. We wish you nothing but the best in your career, and hopefully we'll talk to you down the line.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.